What's up, Go enthusiasts? Here, let's see. I just woke up. This is a game between a Canadian player, I have no idea who they are, and a Chinese female pro, who I have no idea who they are. Um, but an earnest Canadian 9 Dan, and they've never played before. Seems kind of like an interesting matchup. But also, other interesting matchups include proper pro games you can watch. This one, let's see, at the moment, white did well on the bottom left. The right side looks just fine. I would say, aside from the fact that black killed white in the upper right corner, white is clearly winning. Now, the kill in the upper right corner is big. That's definitely true. Yeah, I guess if white just gets to reduce the top side here, it should be fine game. But it's not actually that easy, and I don't like this last move that white played. That seems pretty wrong. It must have been capture instead, right? That's better, surely. But I understand what he was thinking going for this. He or she, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna play games until I'm properly awake. That, yeah, because this one is strict sente, then this is gonna give timing for white to play on the outside here. This is meaningful, actually. I probably shouldn't judge so quick on the... Yeah, unshapeliness of it. So now this is a very annoying move by black, asking white about the capture in the corner, which is obviously super big on territory, and fixes the weakness over here, mostly. There is a chance that white could do something interesting, where you like go here, go down, connect that, but probably if you're gonna do it like that, you should just connect in the first place. Honestly, I think just connecting here is better, almost certainly. It's hard to imagine a reason why this is gonna work for white, because now we're basically gonna have to give up the cutting point here in the fighting, and when you give up the cutting point here, these stones get a lot weaker. If he read out or she read out that the black stones are just covered and then white is into the center, then that is a reason to be winning. If white can go down now comfortably. So I guess that's the main reason. But is it really true? That seems grandiose. Yeah, I was thinking about whether white will play around here somehow to fix the that area and sort of leave this. But the corner is very big. It really is. But just jumping to the top side and getting a chance to reduce it is incredibly important as well. Okay, these moves by black, they look quite strange. I understand black is thinking like I need to use these somehow, but actually a lot of the time by playing in the corner, there was going to be chances to fight from the inside and then to use a lot of these outside weaknesses. I think this outside being somewhat thin was extremely important to black. And black is just giving it away for thickness over here with this group, which was potentially going to get under attack if she had done nothing, but I don't like getting thickness like this, which is not useful. White goes for triple Hane, which makes sense. I think extend would have been just fine, but triple Hane is like trying to get Sente back, And I think Sente is the upper left corner. I think it's just huge. I'm not. I'm not sure. Maybe they have bigger plans, but you should push one more time to make sure that this cut is kind of covered. Oh, and black decided not to give White Sente. That's making sense too. All right, this is making a lot of sense then. Yeah. Connect, I agree. You can't fight it. Although it feels good to Atari back, when you have to connect here, that feels really bad. You can't fight it. So now we're going to see, I think, black Atari back, and then white not extent over there. This is weird. That's very strange. That's obviously not a threat. Yeah, so we're just gonna see white jump here, I guess. Why not? Or go there, yeah. I like the idea of jump here, because then when you hane, it's very nice shape, but actually there's no value, so white is not interested. And instead just takes the corner back. Now the entire upper left is largely white's, and black even does this one, which is threatening to capture the corner back, but not in a very valuable way. It's like much less valuable now than it was a step before, where black was not going to be making this exchange, I think, before. So already we could go back again, or we could answer this big, but it's not that big, surely. Okay, we have AI game. Byun Sangil is playing against Fine Art. They've played 18 times before. Byun Sangil won once. This will be interesting. We'll watch this. The other random per game is proceeding normally. This is normal go. Yeah, white is not exactly sure what to do here. They choose to jump to the top. This was the area which black was trying to cover naturally. Black is not getting to do that. So it seems like white will win the game. Because white not only has managed to make another good thing happen since we started watching, but also stop the good black thing from happening. I think it's good. Black comes down. This is actually very big in just pure territory. But the threats against this should be pretty easy to answer. All you have to do is like put a stone somehow to get the territory on the bottom side, and that in itself is not unvaluable. So the reason why this push was not very meaningful, it didn't seem very meaningful, is because you get the endgame through here and Sente, but in Sente while giving the opponent a bunch of territory which they didn't have, which is not not the pleasant side. So we have black switching back the corner. This was obvious after white goes down here, is that you shouldn't continue to care about the top side. Just let black come in, or let white come in, I mean. And then, we have some interesting moment. I think you can play here in exchange for that, which can help out the squeeze sometimes, but also maybe sometimes it's better not to. Not exactly sure. And just jumping down here is a natural way to like use the cutting point here, but then it leaves the opponent this peep. So if you're only reading for yourself, I think this white player might be kind of young. They play a lot of young person style moves. Oh, it was this peep actually. Interesting. This one means black is not intent on keeping the cutting points, like keeping this safe and keeping the cutting points in the center. Because this part is supposed to be not that weak. Interesting. So the AI versus Byun Go game proceeded extremely quickly for a little while. Yeah, Benson Gill took the open corner. After AI took the open corner, reapproach, kick, approach here, which then simply invaded against, and black just extended. Then we have wedge here and connect back. This opening looks very slightly cramped for Benson Gill. I'm not exactly sure, but usually at my level, when you play this one and then you take the influence towards it, you like lose a little bit of value because it's hard to show that this area is valuable. And the way that you would is to continue to grow to the center, and White stopped that. And in exchange, black did not did not answer passively, but made the cut and made the fighting back against here. So this is the correct way to handle it when you have this influence and they attach to reduce, but I think the very initial position is already very slightly locally inefficient for black. If I were white here, it's between Hane or an extend for me. I can't find another tempting move. And it really looks like I need to Hane, but I can understand how Benson Gill thinks he's gaining there. So I'm not sure actually how to keep this kind of position up. Triple Hane. Of course there's always a detail. Yes. So meaning if black goes to capture it, we Atari, then we Hane, and then we cut, right? Or is it triple Hane again? Might be triple Hane again, but yeah, this one, the detail is you can sacrifice stones in front of this giga thickness. So extending is totally possible, but why extend when you can apply more pressure? So from Bjornsson Gill's perspective, he should wait to cut stronger. That's the theoretical way to handle this. And so you might want to extend this way or jump this way. These moves are interesting. Oh, excuse me. Here we have White still having a huge area there. White has 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 90, and black has 10, 20. Yeah, White is winning a lot this game, I think. He's tempting, or they're tempting black to go and cut, because then they would save on the top side. So the whole point here is we're asking about saving the territory, and black won't let us, and therefore we can reduce it a tiny bit more. Yeah, push here, very normal thing to do. We're walking in here, keeping that safe enough. This game is just supposed to be casual. White is going to try to be as casual as possible from now. And I don't think black has any obvious ways to make it not casual. So let's focus instead on this game. So here, Bjornsson Gill started with the jump, and then used that to give himself the tiger's mouth shape, which is a good shape. I was thinking either jump, or extend knight's move, stuff like that. But these things, they have weaknesses left behind, so after white attaches here, then white can get enough power, get enough time to then come and reattack. So it makes sense to go jump tiger's mouth to make the properly thick shape, and then just only escape rather than escape and attack. And so then white played this sort of awkward elephant jump, which Bjornsson Gill had to hit the vital point for, and now he's thinking, because if he connects here, he's going to give white the timing to come and attach again and then block. Or somehow, make it double threat. So he's thinking, I'm sure, about whether he has a better way to handle this corner shape to ask for more bad exchanges if white really wants to attack this. So the attach is obviously coming, and then so now this is pretty interesting. It's absolutely viable to push now, in which case white will probably wedge first and then try to hunt it. But that looks wrong, looks scary. So I don't think that's good. You could try... push, Hane. Yeah. Then it should just be cut, actually. Interesting. The sort of classical way to handle this is to Hane here, and then to push out, and then to push out again. That's the good shape way. But if you do it like that, there are some uncertainties. Yeah, so he just pushes. It seems right to me. Oh, and white chose Hane. Then black extends this obvious move, and white peeps. Okay, I don't understand what white is doing. I thought white had to cover this, because if white leaves behind the two cuts, then white is losing the control of that fight. So suddenly a random white peep does not seem to help with that, and now white left behind a cut and black gets to extend through. This looks awesome for black to me, and white is playing very fast, so it's clearly like the variation which white read. The AI only thinks when the opponent plays a move which it was not reading before, which it did not think was the absolute best move. So clearly byun has been playing good moves. But I'm stunned that this is a variation which is like supposed to be at least slightly beneficial to white. Really? This is not a variation where black is just like crushing? This looks awesome. Okay, well, from now, black should take care of the bottom side group, probably. He could also try to kill the upper left, but that's pretty adventurous. So Hane. A lot of people like the Hane cut at moments like this. The idea is if they capture and you get to capture the two stones, you save your group, and then they have this awkwardness. It's not really pleasant for them. So if they don't suddenly start the trading sequence, then you're just left with some extra ko-aji that you can use later. I was thinking about this peep actually. The idea for byun sangil is that he needs to take care of this group, but if you do it here, it's kind of lame and small. The opponent seems like they're going to be happy controlling this area. And so you might want to walk in from this side, but still they can just accept outside. So the only way to get directly sort of on the inside of their important area, or directly to the area which they're trying to control the most, is to immediately peep, ask them to take their bad shape, and give yourself the route in. So we already sort of forced a concession so that this area would be less big if just swallowed. Or basically it's more awkward for them to capture it with a stone here, already exchanging this peep. Later on they would definitely try to surround and swallow that peep if White does get the chance to play calmly from the center. If it were me, I would honestly play here. I know it's like not right with the way you're supposed to play against AI. Ah, he does this one. So if you played here, you would be trying to kill this. Comparatively, this one is also kind of trying to kill this. It's a lot looser. So this one, there's definitely ways for White to save. If you did it this way, I'm not actually sure how White is supposed to save. That doesn't seem possible. But what you do give up is the, like... I mean, not really. I don't think you give up that much. I feel like this was just a good move. Well, what could possibly be wrong with this? This seems like it's the most intense thing to do. Okay, people are betting tremendously on byun sangil here. I do think he's had a good opening, but 17% win rate is high. I don't think even a super top pro like byun sangil can have that much. So free Fox wins for me, betting on AI. So the problem with this is that I think White is planning to Hane here. And although you could capture, White will accept, and you could Atari, but White will just accept, I think. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's not the problem. Because White can also... So the problem is actually if you go and capture it now, it's not going to block, but descend and then escape. That's the problem. So now, to stop that, Black was thinking about triple Hane. Still, White will just accept and run along the top side, try to save. So push first rather than triple Hane. What's so good about push first? Push first to disable their Atari. So if you triple Hane'd, what they were going to do is Atari and then Atari here, and then is push and live on the top side. So by pushing first, exchanging this, and even that one, then it makes it so that if White would Atari here, they don't get anything. We're capturing and we're stopping all that stuff. And then making the stronger attack this way. Actually, it was probably better to just immediately play this knight's move, if this is the plan. I don't think it's gaining anything to exchange this first and then go here. It could be. It's possible to gain something, like creating those weaknesses is making a good shape. But I don't really believe it. Okay, and white just settles down and goes for a life rather than further running. Interesting. Why not further running? I thought this way, white was going to play like attach descend on the top side. Or attach crosscut or, something. But it doesn't like any of those. It just wants to live here and let black surround. Okay, there's some details here that byun sangil is going to contest. I think. Because it would be ridiculous to add another move to stop the ko. So we're going to let the ko happen. Surely. It is not clear at all what to do. You can't put a stone here, but when you don't, white is going to use that and cut. And that ko is very difficult. It's even possible for white to Atari and push and try to save again over here. That's not really the difficult part, though. The challenge is mostly that the actual ko is very hard to hold on to when you have a weak group over here. It's not that weak. This black group will definitely save itself, but it's weak enough that white can threaten to save itself using ko threats against it. And black's ko threats, meanwhile, are going to be like real things, like you have to exchange this, have to exchange cut, that kind of thing. It seems like it will be overplay for black to Atari here. So he ends up fixing the ko. That's really interesting. He couldn't find a better way than to fix the ko. This means that white can live, just flat live on the top side. I wonder whether white will immediately live or, play away. And white did that very quickly, so it seems like maybe black found the best move to stop that ko. That ko is, I really wouldn't be able to find a way to stop it myself. That ko is very real, but it's so hard to put a move down and be satisfied with that. But you just sort of have to admit that white already did a good job saving, I guess. This part, the fact that white can play away from that, though, is quite rude. So we're going to see the cuts. And maybe we'll see a ko on the bottom side to then mix with the ko on the top side. So the ko on the top side now is that you can Atari here and start a ko like this. And that ko is really heavy for black. So if black does that, then black really wants to win the ko. And if he can't, if white has some ko threats, which honestly are starting to vanish, there's only basically like one or two over here. White might eventually win the ko back and force black to connect here, and then white could still play this one, and then it's still a ko for life. So even after black connects, it's still a ko for life. Originally it's a direct ko, but it's sort of for life of both groups, which is very scary. Okay, so we have byun sangil starting the ko on the bottom left here. It's very adventurous play. By the way, if anyone was curious why black played the jump and not the slide, there was an attach across for white earlier. obvious at their level. So, yeah, interesting. Byun Sangil has not played yet. He must be thinking about how he's going to fight the Ko. Because it doesn't make sense to exchange this last move if you're not going to continue with the Ko immediately. Otherwise, you could just reserve threatening this Ko as Ko threats for your other maneuvers. But starting the Ko immediately on the bottom left is making sense. This is making a lot of sense, because if black wins this Ko, these attacking moves white played become totally meaningless. That's why it's good timing to start Kos like this. And the trick is, if white wins the Ko, then you lose a lot of power, so you might die. So this is a very, very important Ko. Aha. So he uses this push as his Ko threat. I suspect white will say it's not important enough, and I can win the Ko. When you win the Ko, you capture the one outside stone here, by the way, which is generally considered as pretty good. And I was wrong. White says, indeed, that is important. So if white wouldn't win the Ko, then black could Hane here, and black's health from getting the bad exchange being so good was actually worth it. Wow. So you can just punish one bad exchange, and that's enough for this kind of Ko. Basically, the Ko is very light for black then, as long as you don't die. Okay, that's an interesting way to view this. I've never been able to use a Ko like that before. This is indeed the Ko threat I expected, by the way. White is going to be trying to abuse black with the chances that he can die here. I think black needs to Atari now. And then black is going to be getting in some trouble, I guess. Because when black Ataris, and there's the Ko, then white can try to kill this group. And then even if black kills this group and white kills that group, that's bad for black, locally speaking. So we have Atari. But honestly, we might also just see solid connect now. Because if you just solid connect, you already have one eye here, and then you're really close to your second eye in this part. Since you have this exchange, then you also have this, and you could just directly make the second eye. So solid connect will live, but it lives in Gote. Oh, he attaches here first. Oh, this AI is using the idea that this is why I constructed the tiger's mouth earlier, is it thought this shape is actually really resilient, because after this Atari, I need not answer necessarily. So it's using the idea that right now, already, without any exchange, if black wants to try to kill it, then black will need to come all the way back, and it's actually like it's giving black a lot of hassle to really try to kill. And even this way, white could connect in Sente if you try to kill as well. So when black answers this, if black would answer this, white has this one. So you also have to be careful about that. Wow, this move is great. This move is wonderful. It's way better than the simple move I was thinking. Simple moves. Yeah, black couldn't find anything better than this. It seems like that's right. But now the Ko. Now the Ko. Oh, now the Ko. So the Ko is getting black in trouble, but white exchanges this one first and then starts this Ko. And then white has this one as Ko threat. So if black then wins the Ko and white makes this Ko instead, that's a much more dangerous Ko, because then this one can die. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So we should definitely see black capture at least once first to force white to use a Ko threat. But after that, black is in trouble. Black is just in trouble. I don't think it's going to be easy at all for black. Man, even when black wins this Ko, white can still potentially Atari. And depending on the corner situation, it might end up being Sente. And then if wedge is sente as well, white could still live even after black wins the ko by having an eye in sente and then to go take the other eye on the left. This is white's ko threat, by the way. Rather than using this one, white uses this one, which is aiming at the same stuff, for sure. Oh. It was trying to make a second quality ko threat. Right? Wait. I'm actually not exactly clear on why white chose that one. But black has this one ko threat, that's obvious. And then black has a big ko threat over here. This ko, although it's important, it's actually like each move in this ko is not particularly more valuable than average normal moves. So you don't actually get very significant ko threats by playing these ko moves. White will just give it up. Oh, interesting. I did not expect this one. I thought white was planning on making a second ko threat over here. I thought we were going to see like this one and then planning to cut. But we see this one instead. So the meaning now is if black captures, then white will capture here. White is safe. Black is safe. Then black can come back here. Wait, the meaning is just that white wants to save comfortably or something. I'm not sure that I really get it. It doesn't. Oh, but ko threats are just about saving yourself when it's defensive ko like this, I guess. What even? So black is considering whether to make the ko extend with the pullback here. That would mean white could continue the ko, black would need to keep fighting. And it's going to be pretty hard for black to do that. You know, the other outside ko threats I was talking about, they all lose points. But if black would then win the ko after that extend, then white saving underneath rather than saving this way seems like it would be a lot worse. The problem was it was not clear that black was going to win the ko, so he just gave up. And let white go here. It seems like giving up was wrong since AI is thinking. Seems like this was slightly generous. Wow, I can't believe that then. So wait. This has been so advanced from white. The the ko threat here into we fight a ko back here into okay, I'll just accept this. Now white is thinking to control this area. Wow. The cut here is in sente. This black is so meaningful. I wouldn't be able to play a ko threat this calm. But white is like, okay, black still has a ko threat here. Black has a ko threat here. Black has a ko threat here. Basically, white doesn't have very significant ko threats. They won't cut like this until this would actually be under attack from that. So they'll start here, yeah, to stop the Atari, which is, at the moment, that was black's ko threat. So black didn't use it. But honestly, black could have considered, before winning the ko, just to Atari immediately. And then come back to win. Because this was immediately going to happen. Now, he loses the Atari. And this group can be weak from this cut. So after now, if cut, and then white attacks, then this group will be in danger. So that's why black takes that move first, jumps it out, makes sure to approach this, and naturally protect this group. So black managed to save the bottom left and the upper left, and even his left side group. He's saving everything. He's not letting anything collapse. That's a good sign. The problem is, while that happened, he gave away a lot of thickness here. That's basically what white got, was thickness here, thickness here. And white paid for that, step by step. Each thing that he got, or that AI got, white paid for. Wow. We're gonna cut now? Seriously? Are we really gonna cut now? This looks highly dangerous. His plan is to say, if I can cut you and you have to run these stones out in front of this wall, those walls' liberties become important. If you pay too much attention to that, and I can like extend over here and control this, then that should be an excellent way as well. So white Atari here, black extends. I don't know what the point. Wait, I actually don't understand. Wait, really? Wants to connect here, so Atari's and then connects. Ah, I see. The meaning is, if white would save it from this side, you still have to worry about the squeeze always. That was black's point. So white was like, let me save it without the squeeze. Atari this way and then do that. And black can cover. Normally we consider that cover is like really good. But in this case, even though you cover and go here, the cut still works. Clever method from white. So black feels a little awkward at the moment. And still this cut is sente, by the way, so these stones are in big trouble. I think connect is right. I can't imagine it being wrong. But the cut is sente. Black is safe on the left side, but maybe not safe here anymore. But the cut traded that away, basically. The way that black just played was so aggressive, he was gonna give up something. So he's giving up this. It's honestly, I mean, it's not that bad as far as giving up, as far as getting, you know, getting broken goes. It seems like he gets to break something back for right here. I think this move is a sensible move by white, very honest to properly capture these stones. And if you wouldn't do that, then you would probably be punished somehow. But this move is really valuable on the other side of the coin. It seems like white gets in big trouble now. So the plan is cut. And if white does this, we push, and it seems like white is dead. So as far as I can tell, these stones will save themselves by just running out and then claiming this white is dead. When white blocks here, white is thinking about jumping to cover these. Then it has 4 liberties, and white has 3 liberties, but white could extend, so we'll have to hane. And then that should be good. So black extend, white jump, black hane. Already, actually, white could cover that in sente. But black captures all this. White is saying, I captured that, you captured that. It's good for me. It's good for white. Because white is going to get the outside thickness here. The reading is so deep. It's so deep. No human is thinking like, okay, I'm going to hane, and then I'm going to block here to set up the net. That's so strong. I think byun sangil is thinking about doing some fancy stuff to try to extend the liberties and prevent the squeeze. Yeah, he's gonna spend some time because there is fancy stuff available right now, and if you wouldn't even think about the fancy stuff, you're just a bad player, I guess. So stuff like attach here, totally viable. You cannot play just a simple jump because there's a net here. If you play the turn and try to reduce the liberties harsher on this, then Wei has this Hane, and that's a really awkward moment where you're gonna find yourself falling back, and then when Wei nets, you'll actually be in even less control of the liberties compared to just extending. So that's why extend, I think, is the correct way to defend. Honestly, I think extend without any tricks is the best way. But I could be wrong, I guess. Byun sangil agrees. I guess it's possible that Wei can try to jump first. It seems insane, but it actually might not be that insane. Okay, Wei thought it was insane. So now we're gonna see Hane, I think. Yep. Chase these stones. If Wei goes here and we block and here and block and capture and Atari and capture and play here, then still Wei will have only 2 liberties. So in this case, actually, Wait squeeze is not Sente as long as we can push here. Curious why Wei exchanged that then. I don't know why. It's kind of bad exchange. Oh, Wei exchanged that to increase the size of the co-threats? Because now, before, if you did this, then Black could also play underneath and then chase you without the extra liberties, but like... But was increasing the size of the co-threats good here? I don't think so. I think this is very, very minimally bad. In the sense that it's pros and cons, but the pros are like very slightly less than the cons, I think. Very, very minimally. I'm talking like less than 1/100th of a point or something. But I think it was slightly bad. I could be wrong. Just my feeling. So after that, Wei now has a lot of influence here. It's actually not a very firm squeeze. So Black still has some chance to put stones over here, like 1 stone Sente kind of thing. But I think so at least. If White goes here and descends, and we fill, and they go here, and we go here, here, and there, and here. Yeah, we should have. We should be good. So Black came to reduce the general size of the moya, and White just jumping here is so imposing, man. It's hard for humans to think of something like just jump like this. It's... You think of it as like unnecessary to add more to the place where you have power, but actually this was Black's source of Aji, and it's just gone. It's so hard to approach it. And in the meantime, White is growing and defending himself very thickly. So when Black now saves himself in the corner, which he can go and jump down, slide down something. Slide over here first, maybe. Jump over here first. Probably jump here first is good. Not sure. I would play this one if I were in byun sangil's shoes. Obviously, I'm the much weaker player, so who knows. Oh, he attaches. Similar idea, but he wants to give White more thickness here because he's already come to reduce it. Seems kind of dangerous, but it's understandable too. Attach definitely can be better than my jump. Um, yeah, so the end result here, black actually managed to capture like two white groups this game. That's pretty good against the AI. Normally, if you capture one AI group, then it wins on the rest of the board. But black managed to capture two AI groups. Of course, he died once as well. Um, it seems like black still is in the lead globally, which is also very good this far in the game. White descended immediately. I was thinking white was just going to connect, but actually white descend is the much better move. If white connects, then byun Gill's plan works. He does this, and then he answers on the top side, and his corner is super clean, and even though there's an invasion something, the fact that black gets so many points in the corner means that the white thickness here is kind of wasted. Instead, by descending here, white leaves more weaknesses outside, but black would never want to handle these weaknesses. Even though white leaves them, it's very untempting for black to be like, oh, I'm going to fight here, right in the midst of your valuable area. On the same, you know, on the other side of the hand, if you ignore that and you just say, yeah, you got that for free, now when you go in, then um, your corner is very weak. It's very easy to get swept under and even murdered. If you know, at the least, white deserves to get a lot of the territory back, but murder is on the table as well. So this is extremely dangerous now for black to figure out how to save this correctly, what is the right shape, and how to continue, how to play this out so that you don't die. So he plays from the outside. Interesting start. So the idea is he needs to use this cutting point. If he doesn't use this cutting point against white, he shouldn't be able to get enough value to handle this well. So he starts trying. So if white just defends here, he got something out of it. He got something out of the cutting point. So he tries to extract the value from that and put it on the right side. Then if he saves and scrounges, then it would be fine. So white, wow, defends so aggressively. Wow. Because if white considered to try to slide to the top side immediately there, then black was thinking to cut and then turn here, I think. I think black was going to immediately do something. Anyway, I think at this point now, if black peeps, white connects, black can't break through. If black cuts, then obviously it's caught. So I think now black definitely needs to stop white this move. Basically, if white plays here, I think black dies. So even if black plays here, it's still not clear that black can save it, but I think he can. He peeps first. Oh. So peeping first means we're thinking if we can Atari as our cut, then we're getting a lot of resources to break past through here. And those resources in combination with the cut over here can give us space. So something white should answer. White answered to cover the center more and more and more. Basically, white is thinking with each of these moves, this one, this one, this one, the more that white gets value right here, so that black can't approach that. Like, all of those moves getting value right here are very real value. This is actually a very tempting area for black to try to rush to use these stones to threaten to revive them. And if he could have forced white to eat them small here, while black got influence towards the rest of the board, it would have been quite nice. And instead, when white says, forestalls black from even getting to that point where he can force, then each of these moves has value towards the other part, but also significant value in swallowing this area, which is supposed to be sort of black's for free, So it's very interesting how much white emphasizes that. I should really learn to emphasize that more myself as a strategic objective, a good way to win. Black Hanes. So he's still thinking about using this cut, and he wants his use of that cut to be mainly for the benefit of his power in the corner. This is kind of adventurous, right? Maybe Wei can still benefit. It seems like now if Wei tries to extract again value towards covering this, like at some point you've covered it too much, and the opponent will just be very happy answering. So it seems like White might be taking a moment now to do something more aggressive. He actually Tanuki'd and attacks this part now. And this is the aggression. This is scary. So White took the timeout from the upper right and said, you know what, I actually can't kill the upper right. It doesn't seem like it's killable. I can't block easily either. So I won't do anything. And rushing over to the right side. Because they got so many stones of thickness outside, it makes it actually so that these stones cannot run to the center very easily. Like, if they run to the center, they will still be surrounded, obviously, right? And they'll still die, most of the time. It's not like they'll necessarily die. It's possible for Black to save, but that's the threat. So it's really awkward for Black now, because you can just try some connect under sequences, but if you do, and White blocks here, then White should win. This is a huge box, right? Black cuts first. Very, very interesting. White Atari here is guaranteed, I'm sure. I don't know what the point of cut here. Cut here, White Atari's here. White connects, blocks, both fine. I don't know. Oops. Maybe he's just asking for connector block. So he just wants to see the White connect here. I don't know why he would want to see it. Oh, he wants to see it because then he wants to cut and then Atari and do something? So White doesn't connect here. I don't know exactly what was happening just now. But actually it was very possible. Yeah. That he was planning to cut and then use this sente and then push, and then the threat against these 3 stones which White would eventually answer would allow Black to get enough liberties to cut here and then to capture these 2. So that's why White had to block here. And then since White had to block using that, Black is saying like, oh, then I got to the chance to capture this 1 stone in the sente to end this cut as well. So he's saying this probably because he's thinking, I'm about to give up this 1 stone in the fighting over here. And so I need to use that Aji and I can extract it right away. So he starts with this one. Again, it's threatening this cut. Again, it's going to use this. Wow, it's actually a genius sequence by byun sangil. Really wonderful. So this one was threatening the cut, and then Black got to save it, and again it's threatening for this part, and Black is actually managing to make an eye space in the center there out of nothing. Wonderful. Let me turn on some music for myself. So, okay, after that, White Tanuki'd. allowing black to cut, which would kill these 2 stones, because black already became strong here. Sick. Very, very interesting. Tanuki timing. So White thought it was so important to go down and break over here. And it is. It really is extremely important to go down and break over there. It makes it so that if black tries to capture this, White can play this attach. Maybe White will exchange this first, I'm not sure. Probably White will exchange this first and then attach. And so that would end up being a squeeze, because obviously that's Sente. It's impossible for black to play outside, because the stones would die again. So the only thing for black to do is to fall back and let White block, and block eventually again. And black would have to be answering. And then finally, once all of that is clean, after this one, then the center, it becomes clean. Suddenly, black can't get a route into the center. If black had tried to jump into the center just now, then White would have kicked like this. And the whole black group would be in massive danger. Wouldn't really have any resources to save. So White exchanges this, I think just to sort of solidify that shape, to clarify that shape. And then White is going to clean up this attack in a way which lets White secure the Mueo in the center of the board. Incredible. Wow. Absolutely incredible. Oh, he didn't even attack right away. So this move said, I will secure the attacks over here and let you capture. And then this move says, actually, you were supposed to go capture. Why didn't you go capture? Now White gets all the territory here. That's very interesting, because if black had gone in and captured, at the end of the sequence there, by my reading at least, black did have a double Atari, and then the chance to apply a little bit more pressure to White. It was like White was going to be squeezing that and then answering over here, so black basically could break up to this box and get that territory. It wouldn't be good for black to actually do that, but that would be like the future thing that you'd expect. Okay, I don't know what White is planning to do with this exchange. That doesn't seem valuable. So White ended up chasing the extra little bit of territory here, letting black get this tiger's mouth. So black now gets a big control of the territory over here. It seems to me very valuable to go get this tiger's mouth. It gives a rat to the center now, and also the corner. So if you played here as White, then black could run to the center immediately and try to counterattack these stones and allow you to do that and just sort of fly it through the center. Even though you can come and break the side territory, when black flies to the center and breaks it, black definitely wins. Black has all the territories. He's killed 2 groups. So White had to come back and cover that. And still, this black group in the corner is super alive. If White plays here, then black can block. Black is alive. So black exchange this, looks to reduce. Yeah, we end up in this situation where White is cobbling together center area still, but black has 4 corners and 2 kills. Surely it's good. Surely. Can White really have gained 20 points giving away 4 corners and 2 kills? Really? It seems like from now, attach here should be the right move. Oh, attach here. The idea of attach here was if White pushes through, then you can push through and Atari, and then Atari, aha, and Atari again, and then block here, and then live. Oh, that's beautiful. So indeed this Atari was forcing. But the question is whether this Atari, or this attach was forcing and Wei had to block. But the question is whether this Atari is forcing. And that one is actually not so easy. So it seems like maybe byun sangil could exchange this, but this one is gote small. Like this one will be just ignored by weight. Unfortunately. Attach here. Push. I don't know what the push is for exactly. It seems like push is maybe for this one. So after block, here, there. Doesn't seem to work. Ah, so big. So big. Yeah, I think attaching here was really important because although Wei could descend at the end, you still improve your territory condition like a lot, and then you can still walk in from this side and from this side. So he's saying, okay, but I got the chance to attach and walk into your center, but you're giving away the Hane now, which is not really acceptable. If Black had blocked and accepted, then White would have just been able to answer this and already gain a huge amount of territory in Sente here. But now we're gonna die, I think. We're not gonna die, but we're inching towards our own death. Oh, wait, answered. I thought it was very much more important to like not die over here, but actually, it doesn't seem to think so. Okay, now if Wei would answer this, then Atari, Atari, Atari. Obviously, Black can capture some stunts. So Wei is not going to be answering that anymore, but can Hane instead, right? Surely now is the time to Hane. But I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do about this Hane of Blacks. So we see Hane now. Black Hane and we cover this way, I guess. That must be it. That must be it. Yeah, it's Hane, and then it's a test to Wait. Actually, in this moment, Wei can just go kill. Why did Black? This seems wrong. This seems very wrong. How is Wei just spending 3 moves in a row and kills the whole corner? Kills the whole corner, and all we do is like push through this part. By the way, the game between the Canadian female pro, Canadian wins. Hooray! Good job, Canadian. What happened? We stopped watching here, right? And Black tried to make stuff happen, but Wait was chill, and then Wait won. What's the score estimator? It says only Wait by 3.5, but I'm sure it was more. Pretty sure, right? Oh, it gave Black too much here, probably. And here. But honestly, not that much. It was a pretty close game. Okay, here we have... Oh, White killed with this rather than the peep. Is that better? Maybe that's better, because White's just going to connect, and that's cleaner. So White killed with that, and then Black pushed through, White Hanes, and White blocks. This block is so big. I thought Black was not gonna let Wei get that. I thought after this kill we're definitely jumping, but no. Push through. This is a break as well, so it's something. But after the block here, seems like Black loses now, to me. So the problem with this breaking, like, yeah, we broke through the initial line of defense for white, and white has to let these stones go, let those stones go, let these stones go. But actually, white's area wasn't here, right? Like, that wasn't the main source of the area. It was here, here, and then white has transitioned it over here. So, like, I think this is a common human mistake, is that you see, like, big area, and you don't factor into the little parts properly and like view each part independently and as part of its whole. And you can easily be like, okay, if I trash this independent part, it should have an effect on the whole. And sometimes that's true and sometimes that's not, but you have to actually like check it every time. And this is a common situation where black trashed a part which is actually really independent from the others, because it was very thick here and just not that interested in the other aspects of the moyo. So black is going to try to mess around on the right side, apply pressure that he can save these stones back. That's why he exchanged this first, asking for the ko. White was never going to give it to him, but the move that white plays inside here is completely useless for any of the outside fighting, considering white is claiming it's already in his territory. And then black tries to play all these outside moves and tries to get white to respond very passively here. Basically, it's very hard, because if white would respond actively, then could easily let something surprise save. So white tries to play as actively as possible while still keeping it dead, which is, of course, the correct way. And wow, black is gonna go invest and try to actually say he can do it. There's no shot he can do it, though. There's no shot. So if white simply connects here, then black can cut, but white can extend, run all the way out. Yeah. There's nothing happening in the inside for black here. Black can try this one, but white will Atari first. Connect, there's nothing. Block first, same idea. We connect, there's nothing. Although there's a chance actually from here and then using that one. So you have to push as white. Yeah. You do have to push. Black found something where you have to play a slightly ambitious move to stop it. But it's still stopped from now. Right? After this one, it must be stopped. But actually it's kind of spilling. Black found a way to spill it a little bit. Oh, this way. Oh. So if white would connect, then black would have played here and here. And then ko. Surprise ko. So white had to stop it this way. And then black can capture these two stones. The problem is that's still not an eye, and white can still surround it. But what it does mean is that although black can't commit to this right now, black managed to force white to come back, and black can play some sente move on the outside, saying, you have to come back over there. So the question is, like, how risky can black get with that sente move? Like, where is the value? It's got to be against these three stones, against this area, right? Maybe for his own area here, like against the topside area as well, it could be meaningful. So he goes against the three stones, primarily. Trying to say, you have to answer here, and then I jump down and I kill you. That's the plan from Byun Sangil here. He actually found something nice. I really disrespected this. I thought connect is so over, but it's not that over here. Wow. Even this kind of thing is not that over. That's sick. Yeah. Yeah, of course white was going to play on the outside here. It was the strongest way to do things. And black goes down, and white is just gonna say, fight me. Yeah, and black resigns. He can't fight it. He can't fight it. So he could have done this more safely here, rather than chasing these ones so strongly. He could have just jumped, or saved it more towards his stronger area. But if he would do that, then he would still lose, because white's territory is too big. Too big. Okay, nice game. Let's go take a look at it with Katago. See what AI says about how AI played. We'll go there. And we'll see whether my analyses were okay. So, let's see. Can see Katago actually quite likes what byun did at some moment here. I don't know why it hates this move. Oh, it just thinks it's an awesome move. Okay, great. The push through is good. Yeah, what's the problem with the common try? It's just this. I see, yeah. Here, white gets to make a much better shape. Especially if white has to do the shape this way. But it makes sense white has to, because otherwise they're getting behind. So they have to play to sort of be fast. They're going to change the peep, but... Yeah, black exchange this once and then use that move after a peep here. One time peep and then this one. Why not here? So... I was going to just block. If it was me, it's going like this. Ah, I see. So the problem is, yeah, you can be clean here, but the corner is not clean. It's clean. That's alive. Cleanly alive. Here, here. Now it's alive, yeah. Okay, wait. That's just working then, right? Do we fear the ko? The AI says we don't fear the ko at all, but I don't understand why we wouldn't fear the ko. When, well, I guess they have no threat. That's the point. Interesting. So that's why we don't fear the ko, because there's no threat. And we don't fear this, because we can save the corner. After this one, we have the common Tsuji. This is actually like a very well-known shape. But to be fair, I didn't see any of that. I was also thinking like this is gonna be clean. Like I thought we just should beat it up really hard, and this is the way to do that. I guess it's not that easy. Here, if you do this way, obviously this is sente, yeah. You can use this one. Wow. Nice move. That is a nice move. Wow, 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 wow. That is... And this is also a nice move, by the way. Nice exchange. That is some tremendous gameplay. Would never happen in my game. Okay, so here... Yeah, interesting moment. Wow. This is obviously the more human way to do things. So now I was saying, like, yeah, something like this or here. But always black could block. All the blocks were read out by byun. And so something like cut here, there would be a way to handle it, I guess. It's rare you see byun here, actually with an advantage in the score. But yeah, the reason why there's an advantage in the score is because Katago is reading variations where white kills themselves, which wouldn't actually happen. Yeah, fine art knows the real variations. Great co-threat here. This is extremely instructive. J3. The fact that this co is like somewhat normal means you can just accept as long as you save yourself. You can just accept normal stuff. So we have this co. It was correct to answer, yeah. So capture and then this co-threat. Yeah, why is that co-threat so much better? It's just for the outside thickness? It's just for the outside thickness. It's so much better. Wow, that's actually... It actually did matter, right? Like the fact that white blocked the outside after this was really relevant. Okay, so here I was thinking the co-threat that white needs to do is like this one, which is apparently awful because you can just die. So white's only way was to try to save through the top side, and then this is correct, what black did. What could black possibly have done wrong in this sequence? I don't get it. Don't capture is the problem? Okay, yeah, it's just tweaking about that. So eventually he lived, he let that happen. He captured, and he captured. I was saying maybe you should Atari here first and then capture. It's questionable, debatable. But I don't understand how black lost like 4 points here, and none of his moves could possibly have been wrong. Like possibly. There's no shot. Right? The only thing he could possibly do is say, oh, you've made a co-threat here. But if you win the co, that co-threat is bad, so I will just play completely away and allow you to capture my corner in order to go for other things. But this too, it does not like, it thinks that is also bad. Okay. So, I actually don't get it. How did he lose anything? Any value? At this moment, it's like black plus 18. And then black does only good moves. Genuinely. Maybe this one is not good. But it seems like it's not so bad to stop the co. He just does only good moves. And it turns out that in the end, he's only winning by 12, 13. None of his moves are bad. How did it happen? I don't understand. Here, this cut was bad. I understand that. That cut was strange. But it was hard to figure out what to do at all. You still had to figure out how to use that cut. Like, protecting here would also be strange. It turned out that attach here is the right way. That's not human to know. It's possible to try, but it's not human to know. What does this even mean? What is this all about? Wow. Oh, just restrict. Oops, my bad. I don't think you need to exchange this stuff, but no, it could be fun. Anyway, he went and pushed and cut, and then this method from the AI was wonderful. That was the clearly best thing to do. And then it cut in Sente and pushed here to clean up that left side. It could also have played over here. I'm sure the AI knew that this stuff that it was possible to play on this side, but there's attach now. What is this about? Why would attach matter? I actually don't get it even if it just goes like this. It's the wedge? Oh, you can get in trouble. Black is saving themselves super strongly. Connect is the correct way. What? You can do this? It's better? Seriously? What does it mean? Hane, Hane, triple Hane. This looks just clearly worse. But then you Hane. This one. Isn't this similar? It seems like. Why would that? Isn't this way the same kind of thing? Why would the other way be better? It seems like even in best case scenario, we're just getting the same thing. It's slightly beneficial for territory, maybe. But how could it be 2 points better? Maybe half point better. Maybe. Maybe. But what does it mean? 2 points. That must be troll. Must be non-existent. I don't believe in the 2 points better. Anyway. Yeah, a beautiful move by white here. Leaving the pressure. Okay, here I said we should jump here. Hey, look at me. Guessing AI intuition. Although it's saying that some of these moves are better. But the problem with this one was that white won't be nice. If white was nice and did it this way, then byun sangil's plan was good. But white was not nice. Not generous whatsoever. You actually could play here, let this happen, and still save. That's crazy. Playing on the outside here was wonderful by byun sangil. This is the kind of move that shows his power. White cannot play here. Let's try to find out exactly why. It was push here. Push and Hane. Connect Sente. And then block is threatening to cut. So white needs to fix that. It's super complicated. Super complicated fighting. But in general, it's going to be that black plays over here and saves, because this part is somewhat strong, this part is his resource. So when black saves a group over here and then dies here and gets this part, actually black is doing just fine. Wow, exciting. So in response to this, black cut, asked about this. So if this had happened, it would have been cut here, and then this one, and then here. And you can see that when white still has to come back and answer that, somehow. So if white doesn't answer that at all, then we get Atari, yeah, you get stuff here. If white comes back this way, it's Atari this way. Ah, this connect is forcing for something. And then we're gonna get a double threat here. It's these two. Okay. So, yeah, Peep and Hane was really nice to use all these things. I was just saying, like, jump down here, right? But Peep and Hane, I think it's better what he did. And he used the cut. And he used this one. And at this moment, I think probably he was actually supposed to go back. Yeah. He was sort of drunk on his own success, probably, to make things happen here. But this one was really wonderful. It's the sort of move that you don't expect when things are going well. White covered, black pushed, Exchange the attach, why not? And then here I was saying you have to go attach. You could also do this. But that was the critical moment. Exchange that one time is good, but and attach here. Ooh, white would do it this way. Really? Scary. I didn't think about this. Maybe it's because of that byun sangil didn't do it. So you would only be able to do this one if you play it locally. This is still good, because you can still jump from this side. Yeah. If you would just do this and reduce gently, he's leading by a very small amount, so you would lose in the end game rather than in the middle game. But yeah, he just lost from now. Middle game loss. Got to break through. This one seemed like this one is good, because if white answers, then you gain by pushing through. And if white comes back here, you gain 2, but white just ignores, and then you lose a lot, because it's way too close to your thickness. Locally speaking, it's a great move, but it's not good globally. So then white was leading, and executed. Yeah, there were many ways, but this one is decisive move. So the mistakes here in this game, I genuinely do believe that black was gaining here. I think that black's opening fight here was actually better than Fine Arts. But afterwards, yeah, this fight, okay, it's understandable to me now that the corner can be weak enough that we need to do this kind of thing. I do not understand how byun sangil lost any value at all here. It seems like it was here, but yeah, no clue really. Like, ignore this move, let white squeeze it, live, let white run, take the ko. Seems very sus. Strange gameplay. But maybe it was slightly better. Here, I was thinking, like, maybe we had to play this one, because I was thinking. But actually, it's overplay, I guess. So, if you get the co-threat, then it's wonderful. But you are not going to get the co-threat, I see. So then, the switch here, you die. You can't kill at least. You don't exactly die, but you can't kill. And then you're going to die here too. It's not effective. Okay. So you should do that if you have one more co-threat. But it was about the end of co-threats. That was why white used this one. I find it very interesting as well. White doesn't use this one. Oh. Wow. So white doesn't use that one because it makes it much worse here. Oh. So territorially speaking, I never really think about it, but leaving the clamping stone there is actually like a huge endgame move. Wow. So that was why I used clamp as its threat. Wow, that is sick. I didn't understand that at all as I was watching. I did not have my eyes on the prize. Probably this one is easier, because this one we had to use that cut. byun sangil really likes using cuts, but if you exchange this one so that white covers the cut, then the game is much more calm. This way, white's move here was very direct. So the mistake, let's see. At this moment, the mistake was the cut. To each move of push and cut was like quite bad according to AI. The mistake before that, I genuinely still don't know. It's clear that the white position got better, but it's not at all clear why. Like what black did wrong is not clear, even when I checked with AI. It's not like AI is like misevaluating in this one. This type of position is not actually black plus 18 or 16 or whatever. Like I agree, at this moment it should be that good, and then at the end of the fighting it should be worse. But I don't know why at all, even after checking with AI. But like jumps there gotta go misreads. So who knows? Yeah, at this moment he played to reduce softly, but this was a wonderful jump by white, and then he played to attach here, but it was giving white a weapon against himself. It became very tough. So that was why this part he lost some value. The AI is saying we should use this one. I'm not exactly sure why. This one, and then here. So if white captures, then we have a Hane, and we can just try to counterattack this. Yeah. And if white extends here, then at least you have this Atari, and you've pressed it down a bit. So now when you do this stuff, and white jumps, if I would do the same thing, white doesn't get to cover the Aji here. That was what white was doing a lot of the time. So basically black was supposed to find a way to directly go and use the Aji. This was one way. Actually black could also just like directly come out, but you have to always be careful, I guess. So directly coming out here was actually the AI recommended. What does it even mean? Daring for some fights. This stuff is very intense, but actually could be done. Could be done. So then we had this moment. I think it was wonderful by byun sangil what he did there. And then yeah, this is interesting as well. But then he just sort of hastily allowed white to descend here by taking care of himself in the corner a little too quickly. And then, yeah, white was leading a bit more. White covered here. Very nice cover. Good to remember to do this kind of thing. I was thinking when it comes to cover that this one might be better shape. But actually, although it's like thicker to this area on the bottom side, it doesn't actually help that much, I don't think. It makes sense to me that this one would be the better way. And black used that, but then eventually when black didn't capture that one stone, he couldn't punish. So yeah, it was very nice of white to come up with the sacrifice idea. Like obviously he had originally been sacrificing here, so just saying that black gets super thick is not a big deal when you can go kill them. Yeah, especially when you use this one first and restrict a bit more and then keep it so that black can't continue to move. That was all wonderful the whole way. Nice. So instructive game, what I'm going to learn is the method of covering there means that you're supposed to go in very aggressively as well. If you're the player who's supposed to use the outside cover, then the faster you go do that, the easier it will be and the better as well. So that was something that was relatively easy that byun sangil could do better to learn from. This cut, I knew the cut is not good, but I didn't know the cut response here, which is like he's trying to use the wall like that. That means we should try to get thick. That makes so much sense, but I didn't. I don't have that kind of intuition of getting thick immediately from a fighting. And that, like the way that white was winning this game was immediately getting thick, in these moments, which you don't really expect the thickness to have any value. And that's how white was outplaying byun sangil. Is that byun sangil never would have expected the thickness to have value, and white was like, okay, in this case it has value. Most of the time it doesn't, but the one or two times that it does, white will use those variations and show that he gained, show that white gains. Yeah, really interesting game. The co-fighting is just very direct. You can learn something about leaving a co-threat, which is not so bad, not such a bad exchange, in order to have better trading. That was something that white did special. That was very cool. A lot of the time, black was directly going for using the cutting points. Yeah. The more actively you use the cutting points like that, the better, for sure. Yeah, here white could have played this Hane. This was my expectation, right? I was telling you guys about this reading, where now I thought white would cut immediately. I was wrong, actually. Really, this is not good for white, even though white can kill that. And instead, excuse me, instead it's this way. And this one is scary for black, so black fights back. I don't think black would fight back. Maybe black would fight back. Wow. What a sequence. Yeah, I thought it was just going to be this way. And here, capture it back, let it happen here, and just... Since you aren't going to die, I thought this is acceptable. But it's possible that since black is not going to die, that's acceptable for black. I can understand. Anyway. Very interesting game. Well played, well played. It's so hard to stay... I mean, only 17 points to stay stable for so long against a supercomputer. Nice game, byun sangil. We learned something about co's. We learned something about thickness here. And we learned something about cutting points. Yeah. The cut-cut combination threats are really strong. Yeah, it's a nice game. Thanks all for watching. See you next time.